And the buffers, while getting repaired, is not gonna be as long-lived as it would like to have been. A Stockhound armor car out by the Brit player, which means he has his armored command track on the field, is gonna take on that martyr that was pestering that Bofors. However, a second martyr tank has taken one shot, at least one shot, on the Stockhound. Now the Stockhound is getting blocked by the really nice placement of these martyrs by the B player, effectively eliminating the threat of the increased maneuverability of the Stockhound and managing to take it out. Second Stockhound out by the Brit player, and I think this time one of the martyrs is gonna go down, unless the second one manages to kill it off before it's too late. Luftwaffe forces repairing the martyr that is now being circled straight by the Stockhound. The Stockhound does a really weird thing, tries to change targets, but in fact it was maneuvering away from those martyrs, and now meets the the armor car that takes one shot and it's going down like crazy. But it's gonna be fine for the time being. Now the martyrs have open fire on the HQ truck of the Brit player. This is a weird situation for the Brit player to be in. He's trying to repair his Stockhound, keep his buffers alive, and keep his HQ trucks alive, and the only thing that he has is a captain that does nothing, an infantry section, and sappers. So that means that his HQ truck is going down. His armor command truck will follow soon, unless this Stockhound and whatever it's being produced by the armored command truck, which is probably another Stockhound, actually turn the tides for him. It seems as if one martyr has gone down to the Stockhound, second Stockhound down, and now, yes, that effectively means the end of those martyrs. And we have a really weird choice by the B player. He gets a Wirbelwind. A Wirbelwind not as effective against Stockhounds as you would like. The penetration is kind of really low, but still, I guess he needed to, I don't know, to suppress the sappers. I mean, it's a weird choice. I mean, the Brit player doesn't have so many infantry units on the field right now, so I don't really get why he would call in a Wirbelwind at this time. As all this was happening, the mortar was happily firing at the Bofors. However, the Bofors is still going. I haven't seen a support choice for the Brit player. I haven't seen any artillery, no Cromwells. I don't know what he is going for. Really weird that he hasn't utilized any of his available supports to do something better, I guess, in this game so far. While MP44 equipped Figurine Squad make their way towards the Brit base, probably in an effort to scout what's going on there. But nothing has effectively changed for the Brits. The Stockhound's still out, but now fully repaired. And that's pretty much all for the Brit player. What he's trying to do right now is damage control, and he's trying to maximize the effectiveness of those two Stockhounds. However, bad news for the Brit player, since an 88mm flak has gone up. Also, it was of course built by the Luftwaffe squad, and now those Stockhounds will not be able to go anywhere near that position, and that position of course is the East Victory Point. And now of course the P player is gonna push with his victory point advantage, as well as with his flag to remove that field support truck from the high fuel point, and he's gonna get back that part of the map. Now, will we see a switch by the Brit player to the west while this is happening in this? I'm not so sure about it, although it would be possible, since the B player does not seem to be getting any more martyrs, and those stackhounds are gonna be raining on the field should the Brit player decide to go to the west. But he does not seem to be doing so for the moment being. The stackhounds eventually meet the flag at around the 20-minute, 19, 20, 21-minute mark, and we have some artillery smoke by the Brit player, which effectively means he has gone commanded for some reason. Or, yeah, he has gone commanded for some weird reason. I don't see him dropping any commandos anytime soon. So, I don't know, he's gonna get radio triangulation to see what exactly. The P player in the last minutes of the game seems to be on the defensive. Brit player seems to be going for a base rush, kind of, with his 3 stackhounds. He still has not replenished the field support truck that he lost previously. So those stackhounds are gonna be taking down the defenses of the E player's base at some point. Now we have artillery or fake artillery. I can't talk. On the second flag fielding. It was fake once again. Now, you would of course think that the P player is on the back foot at this moment. But it's not. That's not the case, because stackhounds cannot cap points, and the only infantry that the Brit player has is an infantry section and sappers, and those are not going to be enough. The Brit player has much more infantry on the field, and you can safely say that eventually he's going to win the victory point war. And the Brit player does not seem to be going for any more infantry. Instead, he gets out Firefly. So yeah, I would say really the Brit player seems to be a bit off with his unit choice at the moment. I mean, he hasn't seen martyrs. He just sees armor cars, the Wirbelwind and the mortar. Why would you want a Firefly unless you go for the base of your opponent, which seems to be the case right now? So is that a sound choice? Let's see. Well, the Martyr 3 is out by the B player, and the second flag is being created right outside of his base. So let's see how he will handle this weird situation he is found in. The murder has been completed, but the B player is population capped. It would seem so. Otherwise, that murder should be out by now. However, the second flag has gone up. A stag hunt goes down. However, the flag is down. That was quite a manpower and fuel sink for the B player. And all he has now, in order to combat this Brit menace, is his newly created martyr. Wow, a second does go down to the first flag, and the third stag hunt. Brit player getting sloppy, calculating the distance, the range of those flags, and this will probably be the end of him. He has now nothing on the field. He has commandos, sappers, infantry sections, but no vehicles. And the Wirbelwind and the armored cars are gonna have a field day. And I can safely say that at the 24-minute, 42, 43, 44 second mark, the Brit player is effectively gonna lose this game. 3 Staghounds and a Firefly going down in the matter of 1 minute. Really bad. I mean, I thought you would have... Oh, we have artillery. For once it is real. By the northmost victory point, managed to take out a big Grand Squad or a Luftwaffe squad. I'm not sure about it. I think it was a Luftwaffe squad. But the mortar is nearby, the Wirbelwind is nearby, the armored car is nearby. The Brit player has no counter to that. Something is being built by the armored command track, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And although the map, resource-wise, is in the hands of the Brit player, I am really doubtful for how long he can keep that. He can keep it that way. And I can answer my own question, not for that long. Now those commandos pop smoke, try to take on those MP44 Grenadiers, managed to do so quite good, but do have to retreat, and probably will go down to that armor car with just 1 member left and no health. That's the case. Sappers, in a last-ditch effort to keep the Brit player in the game, try to repair his HQ truck, but that's gonna mean nothing, absolutely nothing. The Sherman Firefly has been built, but it meets the fire of the Martyr right as it came out, down to 25% health, almost no chance for it to live. Main gun destroyed, Martyr still at over 50% health. This game is over. So, what has happened? Well, I would say we did see once again how difficult it is to take a Brit player out in the early game, even if you have such a huge advantage as B player had gotten. I mean, making the HQ truck set up in a strategic point sector, decapping the high fuel right the moment the Brit player got it, and without having got a single fuel out of it, getting your first infantry section down to 1 man and even dying, and then you just retake the whole east part of the map, you hold it down so hard and make it so hard for the B player to, to combat it, because even if the B player got out armor cards really fast, those are not really effective against the Brute tracks. So by the time you try to bring down the Brute tracks, there's a Stuart out, and then you have to transition to Martyrs. So you have to get 2 Martyrs, of course, because you are in danger of being circumcised by the Stuart light tanks. And after all this is done, that you force yourself into the Brit, defense line, and right into the territory where he has his trucks, you are facing 3 Stackhounds that go rampaging on your Martyrs, take them down. Aces are, of course, no threat to them, and so is the Wirbelwind, and you eventually have to deploy 2 flags in order to keep your ground. And you have to be lucky enough for the Brit player to make a mistake and go into the range of your second flank, right on the tip of the range of the second flank, in order to lose 2 out of his initial 3 Staghounds for no reason, so that he can come back to the game. Because had those Staghounds not gone down to the flag, this game would be over. That Martyr that was just built and was the last defense against the armor of the Brit player would have gone down, and of course the Panzerjäger command would have followed, and who knows what next. And although the infantry squads of the Brit player were low, that doesn't mean that he was going to be able to keep up with the pressure having no base effectively. So there you go. I would say